All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Happy morning. Today we have Jessica Adams, otherwise known as Jess, the founder of Ostel 3, who is your go to bookkeeping partner. She's based out of Charlotte metro area and serves clients nationwide. And she's sort of new in here, about a year or so,
Yeah.
going into our space of bookkeeping and just having a great time. And believe me, we are hitting her out of her comfort zone. So we enjoy that she has taken that step forward.
Courage is a choice.
Yes,
Choose to do it.
exactly.
You do it
So,
in spite
Well,
of the
you guys actually have inspired me because I don't know, I love watching your broadcast, so
oh, thanks. We
I
love
was
doing
like,
it.
I'm gonna do it.
Great. We're excited that you decided to come on board. Now, you've been doing your business for a year. Now, did you have an accounting background? Did you work for somebody else? How did you get into starting your own business?
Yeah, so I worked for a firm for a year, like a very small CPA firm, very niche market. Um, and I loved doing the bookkeeping stuff and we called ourselves accountants, but really it was bookkeeping. I loved it though, but it was super specialized, and the chart of accounts for every client was the same. There was so little difference, and I was like, I love doing this, but I
Was it
want
the
to.
firm or the people that you worked with were like a franchise has the same chart of accounts? So was it that the firm
Um,
decided that or
yeah, so it was like the market, right? The market that we worked with, they had to do like other reporting for like government agencies.
okay,
So to feed into those reports, everything was pretty homogenous.
got it.
And it just got boring, but I always knew I wanted to work for myself, so I was like, cool, I've got a solid foundation here, I'm gonna go take this and do this for myself.
Great. So what made you make the leap? Because that took more courage than to come on our podcast.
uh um I don't know, I just felt like I was ready. I was kind of
Great.
tired of working for the firm. So
And you started it, when did you start? In April, you said?
no, in April I joined the bookkeeping
Oh,
budge, but
that's right. She's a
I
bookkeeping
started
club,
with
by the way. Yeah.
my first client last January
Okay.
2024.
So just a little
Yeah.
over a year. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
and
started
I
during tax season. Good for you.
yes, and when I started, they were like, "Oh, the CPA is going to clean up everything before, so you just go ahead." And then they were like, a couple weeks later, they were like, "Just kidding, you go do that." And I was like, "Okay." It was a great experience, actually. Like, it was more than I was expecting, but I loved it. And yeah, they would be like, "You're going to work this weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah, because this is like the fun stuff that I get to do. Like, I love doing this, so sure, why not?"
I know. What's that phrase? If you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
So do you use exclusively QuickBooks Online? Do you use another GL product? What do you use?
Yeah, so for the most part, all my clients are in QuickBooks. But I've gotten some clients through this fractional CFO group. And so sometimes they just are like, hey, I've got a client running this thing. Can you help us? So I've jumped in a little bit here and there on some other platforms, but it's primarily QuickBooks.
Okay, great. Now, do you
Yeah.
specialize in a niche? Do you like, or just take who do you who's who is your ideal client?
Uh, so probably just like a contractor, very simple, like no receivables, just cash coming in, no expenses. I've got a couple clients like that. I actually love it. I don't know, it's
I
just
know you
like,
connect the bank account. It's like, okay, work for you for 5 minutes. $1,000, please.
uh, yeah, I mean, that's ideal, but it's not complex then, right? So I try to stay away from like inventory. That's
Hmm.
not my jam, or like anything that has to do with sales tax. No thanks. But besides that, I'm pretty open.
Cool. Now, do you do any marketing? What kind of marketing do you have? Word of mouth? Do you just where do you meet your prospects?
Yeah, so I've been referred a few times. Like I mentioned, this like CFO group, they're pretty great. Just by chance, my first client works with one of them, and then he referred me to like his like area manager, and so I met with him, and then he's referred me out a couple times, and
So
then the CPA group. What's
is
that?
this group? Is this fraction? Is this like a group like Bookkeeping Buds, or Is it a local group? Is it a national group? Tell
I
us about
think they're a national group, but then they have like a region. So the person I met with is like the regional director or whatever,
that.
and they're not like they're like a franchise, but I don't think it's quite a franchise setup. I'm not really sure how that works. But yeah, they've referred me to a couple of their people, their CFOs, and then occasionally just yeah, word of mouth. But I do find like as you can probably tell, the way I'm stumbling over my words, I'm terrible at talking to people, so
You're doing great.
I struggle with that part. Um, but it's been okay. I don't really market, as Donna mentioned, she had to hunt to find me. So that is my plan for 2024 or sorry, 2025 is to put myself out there a little bit more. We'll
Well, this
see.
is
We'll
a
see how
start.
that goes. Yes, I just was like, I'm going to do this. I'm diving in.
Well, back in the day when I started, because I'm the oldest of the group here, we didn't have social media. The only way to meet people was to get referrals, word of mouth, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with that approach because sometimes my son, just had a baby 2 months ago, and he Snapchats me all the time now, and I cannot figure it out. Mom,
Yeah, I don't know that one either.
you can't save the snaps. I'm like, well then, so I'm still learning. So, what do we do an Excel formula? I can help you with that. Now are you married with children? How many kids do you have?
Yeah, so I'm married and 20 years this year, and I have 3 kids. They're 18, and I have 16-year-old twins.
Oh gosh. And that's
So,
how the name of your company came. Tell us how that came about. Your name of the
oh yeah, it's the first 2 letters of each of my kids' names. So,
excellent,
yeah.
excellent. And what are they? I guess they're still in high school.
Yeah, so my 18-year-old is looking at colleges, and my 16-year-olds are juniors, so they're starting their college process now.
Are they going to stay local? Your kids?
Um, so we moved here from New Jersey about 4 years ago,
Oh, where in
and
Jersey?
in the Somerset area, pretty close to
Okay.
New Brunswick, if you're familiar.
I was born in Trenton.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're kind of like a
How
clique,
about
I
those
think.
Eagles winning? Yay, Eagles!
Exactly. My husband is actually from Wilmington, Delaware, so he was
Okay,
like ecstatic the other day.
I know my mom was a big Eagles fan, and she said she was very happy when the Eagles won in 2017. And she goes,
Yeah, I
"I
think.
can die now that the Eagles have won the Super Bowl." He died. So,
Uh,
so that was great. So, all right. So, and does your husband? What does he do?
he is in like sales and marketing.
We'll get him to help you.
Yes, so he does like I don't know, like capital equipment, like big pieces of machinery for companies to make things. I don't know. But he does love like the business aspect of everything, and so he's got much more of a mind for that, whereas I'm much more of the detail person. So I do think at some point I'm gonna try and like convince him like this is the way we need to go, but you know,
Well, that would be great. Yeah, because he can go out and do the sales to bring in the business,
yes.
and you can do
And
it.
he's definitely got more of that like CFO kind of mentality where he's like run businesses before. So I think that would be like the perfect like pairing, right? Like I do the bookkeeping and you do like the higher level stuff. That's totally fine with me.
Excellent. Now, do you do tax at all, or just bookkeeping?
So I don't do tax. I've been like kicking around the idea of going for my EA, but I am scheduled to sit for an exam next week and I haven't even cracked the book.
For
Excuse
for your
me.
EA, for the first part of your EA
The
exam?
first part, yeah. And I'm like, what was I thinking? It's January. Or well now it's February, but I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Now,
So
did
we'll
you take a
see.
course? Did you study on your own? Because I know the materials on the IRS website.
I bought a book because I'm kind of old school and I like to like read books. And then I was gonna just do one of those sites where you can do like all the practice exams.
Uh
I
huh.
haven't gotten that far yet. So we'll see. I don't know. The last person you had on was like the fraud person. and that's actually more where I would like to
Dawn?
go.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was
Okay,
like,
everybody
oh,
knows Dawn.
maybe I should just go do that instead.
Well,
I think
wasn't
I
that
just need to.
exciting what she talked about? Dawn and I talked about that. We thought about actually
Mhm.
finding out about it and going to Washington, D.C. So you can come with us.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, the whole fraud thing. I do love reading about. There's a Hulu channel called Scam Goddess. Have you seen that? And
I've listened to the podcast,
I
or
I love
I
that
think there's a
stuff.
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, and last year Kelly from I forget her last name. She did a whole movie on the fraud in that Indiana town where the horse farm. I love that stuff. You know, where they fraudulent how they do the fraud stuff. So yeah, that would be. Yeah.
I'm always just like mind blown. Like, how do people not notice this?
Well,
I
you know,
did.
giving people the credits. It was so funny. You know, it's they think we're smart. We had a client come in here yesterday, and Hal did the tax return, and he goes, "You're skimming." What? What? We looked at the. He just gave us a piece of paper with his P&L and stuff, and he goes, "You skimmed about $60,000 this year." You just look at it and can see. So he goes, "Go back and fix it, and come back, and we'll finish your tax return."
How did he know?
Well, because the bank account kept increasing, and
Uh,
the sales didn't match, and then you look at the percentage of use, and so
Mm.
I looked at it and said, I bet his sales should have been this. And so we called him up, and he goes, yeah, I just don't report all my sales. And I'm like, and he, not good. Not good. But you can figure it out with the debits and the credits. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually what I would love to do. Is I think more the fraud than the tax, but I figure tax is like a pretty solid. That's not going away ever. So,
Well, maybe.
well, that's true. We'll see.
Who knows? Who knows? But there always need accounting because you need to know what's going on with your money.
Yeah.
So what do you do for fun?
Ugh. What do I do for fun? Not much. I like to hike, but I listen to too many like true crime podcasts, so I'm like terrified of the woods now, and
What's your
so I don't get out as much as I would
favorite
like.
one?
You
Deadly
know,
women.
what's that?
Deadly women.
Is that one? I
Crimes
don't know
of
that
the
one.
century.
Oh, I listened to that one. I like that one.
I love her. I think she does great.
Yeah, I mean, I like Necronomicon. I don't know if you've ever listened
Oh,
to
I've never
it.
heard of that one. Let me write that down.
The guys are just like they're so silly.
Oh,
They crack me up.
I love true crime. My favorite YouTube channel of all time, other than this one, is called Hollywood Graveyards.
Oh,
If you like cemeteries,
okay.
that one's really good. Hollywood Graveyards
We'll have
with
to
Arthur
like
Dawes. So
look
go.
that up.
It's really good.
Is that one you can like listen to while you're working?
Yes, I do. And if you want to watch it, he goes out to all these famous grave sites and
Oh,
explain the history of them. Like he'll do a
oh
whole
that's
thing
cool.
on the Disney, people. Here's where
Oh,
Walt Disney's buried. What's that? All the famous Disney people. And
very cool.
it's my favorite YouTube channel, other than this one.
I always have something on in the background, so when there's not new episodes of this, or I like the legal aspect of things. So there's a guy called Lawyer and he like dives into all the lawsuits or like the legal cases against people, like the criminal cases, and he will read like things and he'll give us his legal analysis. So
Is that a
like that's
podcast or a YouTube channel?
it's a YouTube channel, but it's just great like background noise. And sometimes like I'll be like, "Ooh, what's going on?" And I'll pause and like watch. But usually it's just like I don't know, like just something about having something on in the background that I can kind of listen to, but mostly like it's just noise, like keeps me
That's how
focused.
I am. I always have my YouTube in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to stuff like that. Or I found a new one, Dr. Mike. He's really good too.
Oh, what's that
It's
about?
a medical one. So he's very good. And I listened to one this morning where he had a lawyer on with him. So that was very good. So that's what I like to do. Now, how many monitors do you have? Because I got 4 monitors and one's always playing my YouTube.
I have one very large monitor.
Okay.
Like it's
One of
like,
those curved ones?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Nice.
so I don't know. I had three, and then like the wires were just crazy. So then I was like, I got to do something better. So I got this one, but also like I have like different laptops for different things. When I first started, I actually had a part-time job and I had a laptop for them, and I was trying to figure out like the best way to work everything. So I just got this one huge monitor so I could just quickly switch the HDMI cable between machine. But it ended up I didn't need to do that because I ended up leaving that job and just doing my own thing like full time. So
So how many customers do you have? How many clients?
right now I have four
Mhm.
clients, and they keep me very busy. So,
Great.
but I find that it's more like right now I'm doing more of like their whole like accounting department, right? Like their payables, their receivables, and then all the bookkeeping also. Um, so
So
I'm
you
trying.
pay, do they send you the bills? Which app do you use? What's your tech stack? What are some of the
Oh,
tech that you use?
yeah, that's super overwhelming to me. Like I've got Slack, but only for bookkeeping buds, and my
Okay.
one client uses it. So because it's just me, I just use like my Google Space, and that's it.
Okay.
I don't have a tech stack. I don't even like use WriteWorks, or Write. What is it called? Write Tools
Right
or
tools.
Red
Oh,
tool.
you're using right tool.
I know I have to like try harder or like Keeper. I was just thinking like
Oh, you got to
Keeper.
use Keeper. You know,
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to use Keeper. If all
geez.
you care about is the uncategorized transactions,
Right.
then you can use something like Categorize Me.
Right. That's what
With
Donna
four
uses.
Mm.
clients, it's like it depends on how you want to run your checklists and everything. So there's alternates, but
But when
You
I
know.
started, there was
yeah,
no apps.
yeah, there was nothing when I started
There was
either.
nothing. The only thing we had was when I remember. I remember when QuickBooks came out.
Oh.
That was a big.
Yeah,
I mean, when I started, we used paper and pencil. There
Like when
was we had an
there
adding
was.
machine.
yeah.
That was, we got adding machines. And I remember with the little calculators, the HP little calculators now that you can get, they were like over $100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's how long ago, that's how long I've been doing this. And everything was done on paper, the green ledger paper.
Did you find it hard to adjust to like the new stuff?
No, no.
No.
Not at all.
But
Nope.
I found the profession was slow to adapt. Remember,
Mhm.
I took a job part time during tax season at a CPA firm. And I said, "Where's your computer?" He goes, "Well, we don't use a computer."
Oh.
Why not? Well, I couldn't charge as much then. Why not? Because he charged by the hour, and it would take
Um,
him less time. So he would make. I'm thinking. I thought this profession is just backwards. Why don't you charge a flat rate? Who cares how long it takes? And I mean, we go out to dinner. You don't pay your meal based on how long it took to cook it.
right.
Can you imagine going to Burger King? Oh, this hamburger took 5 minutes. You only this. Well, this hamburger took 10 minutes. You owe more.
It's hilarious.
Slow to adapt. But no, I just when computers came out and I thought, oh, this is great. In fact, I should be talking about you, but I took this job and I started to learn QuickBooks, and then I was the go-to person when I worked at Robert Half and Accountants. They'd always send me out to the people that were starting on QuickBooks.
Nice.
And then when QBO came out, oh, geez, that to me was like game changer. You know, so now it's kind of bing, 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 bing. I love it.
Yeah. It's so fast. Everything changes so fast. And I love when like you're working in someone's QuickBook file and like I don't know if this has ever happened to you. I imagine that it has because you've been doing this way longer than me, but like I literally have been in there and like the search field moved while I was searching. And I'm like, wait a minute, like what just happened here? And then it's like back and I'm like, am I crazy? That's my favorite when they just change things like while you're in there.
I know. I think it
Yeah.
keeps you young because it keeps your brain going.
Yep.
Okay. I like that, but usually I'm like, am I just losing my mind right now
Right.
or
I remember when it first started QBO, the new button was on the right,
Yes.
and then they moved it to the left. And I think every client called me up and said, "Where's the button?" I go, "Okay, look to the left." Oh, just move your head a little. Why do
That's
they do
hilarious.
that? Just so you can call when you can talk.
Yeah, I think that's their plan is I
And
don't know.
and a new interface is coming out. I can't wait to see that.
Oh.
And they're rolling it out to clients before they're giving it to us. I think
I just
40,000
Yep.
people have it already, Donna.
Yeah, about 40,000. I think they're rolling out a beta on it, and
oh.
it'll be coming soon. And
Woohoo!
the bank fees are changing,
I know.
and
Yeah, we're kind of like,
just always changing. It's a new adventure every day in QuickBooks.
now that's exciting though about the
Yeah.
buds because
Hmm.
Jess is a bookkeeping bud like Donna and I are.
Hmm.
So we can ask questions within the bookkeeping buds about, have you seen this? How do you use it? How do you do it? So
Yep.
yeah, and you've been a bud since April, you said?
Yeah, I think about then.
Great. And how do you
Yeah.
like? What do you like about being a bud?
Oh, I love having like people to ask questions to because God knows I don't know all the answers. And it's also it's not like I don't know, like I think I mentioned, like I don't really have any social media, but I will look on Reddit and sometimes like the bookkeeping channel there is or the subreddit, whatever it's called. Like, I don't know. You know.
I
I
can't
feel
figure
like
that
there's a level of trust here
one. Yeah,
versus just random internet people. So
yeah. TikTok accountants.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now you're also a member of Nancy's group, Ask a CPA, right? How's that
Yeah.
going?
That's good. I don't go in that one as much. Like I just they go there to read. Mostly I'll go in there and like read what other people are asking, just like file that away in case I ever have that same question. But yeah, I they do a lot of um they do a lot of like webinars or whatever. I will watch the replays. I'm terrible at making live things, so
Me too.
but I do like to put them on. That's another thing that I will put on while I'm working is like, but then like some of them I'm like, oh, I gotta like stop and like really listen to this because this is really good information. So
I know it's difficult to multitask when I'm working.
yeah,
I want to watch it.
yeah. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, I'm too tired to sit here and like really focus on this. I want to get out. Like, also my dog is like, hey, it's 5 o'clock. You need to not be sitting there anymore. And they will not let me sit here after like maybe 5:30.
Oh, your family comes in and drags you away.
Just my dog, not my
Oh, your
family.
dog, smart dog.
Yeah, she's like, it's time. Let's go.
Oh, look, Cindy joined us in the chat. Hey, Cindy. Cindy is the founder of Bookkeeping Buds. So we're excited that she's here with us today, and says you're stepping out of your comfort zone. We think that's great. That's how you grow. And what's the worst that can happen? You fail
Yeah.
forward to success. We think you're doing a great job. How you think?
Oh well, thank you.
Are you still nervous?
Um, yeah. I
That's
don't know, but
okay.
to what Donna said earlier, I have a very common name, so I don't expect anyone I know to ever see this.
Oh no,
Well,
everybody, we're starting to get traction.
yep. Tell them
Yeah.
about us.
Oh no,
Subscribe.
well, I don't like. I'm so isolated here. I don't really have like. I have nobody like in person, so I love these groups, and like that's part of the reason I did this. Is there's just like no This is my community.
I know, isn't it the
So
best? I mean, you have friends wherever you go. Now, you've not been to a conference yet, so we're trying to talk Jess into coming to a conference for the first time. And in fact, we were talking about you earlier, Cindy, about that's why you started the Buds, is so people would feel comfortable going to these conferences and not feel so alone and scared. So
well,
of course, Hal's knocking on my door telling me,
Exactly. The first conference I went to, within a matter of a few minutes of being there, even I think in the airport, someone recognized me. I don't even know how, but and they had a bus that was taking us there. Like it felt like I was walking into a group of friends, even though
yes,
I was terrified and all that stuff going on. I was terrified the whole time, but it still felt like it. I was walking into a group of friends, and after that, it was like, all right, there are people like me out there that nerd out on
I
this
know
stuff.
that get excited.
Yeah, I found my
Like,
people.
who else
Yeah,
gets? I mean, the bank reconcile. Boof!
I know.
I
Who
can't call
cares
my
about that?
I called my friend Valerie up. I said, my bank reconciled. She goes, what?
I think that's definitely one of those things that like we all just love, right? Like I had last night I was working on something and I was trying to close out January and it was like, oh, your beginning balance is off by $200. I'm like, what? So then of course, you have that moment of panic and then you go back and you're like, oh, everything is fine. And I was thinking back to like one of the first things I ever did when I worked at the firm was there was this credit card that was so wrongly reconciled and it was such a mess and I was so scared because I didn't know what I was doing and I ended up like I was like, well, I'm unreconciling all of these because I have all the statements and this is just wrong. But I just remember like the fear and panic because I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like this, but I knew it was wrong. So then when everything works out,
Your desk says it's only money, no one died.
it's true.
There you go.
I mean, unlike, any other profession, if, even a landscaper, if you make a mistake, you can cut your hand off with the blade.
Very true.
I mean, okay, so we make a mistake, a bank rec's not off, we delete a reconciled. Okay, put it back, try it again.
Exactly.
No one's going to die. I mean, the IRS isn't going to come with guns blazing unless you're doing something terribly wrong, but that's going in. If you make a mistake, so what? Fix it,
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly, I mean, I feel like I got QuickBooks certified because there was a job like locally that I wanted and like it was a part-time job and they were like you had to be like a pro advisor and I was like okay, well I'm just going to do this. And I think I got the fast and easy QBO thing and I did it in a day. And
there you go.
I did end up getting offered that job, but in the meantime I was offered this job at a firm that was full-time but it was remote, so I took that. But like I went in there feeling like, oh, I know so much. And then I was like, oh my God, I know nothing.
Well, don't worry, that never goes away.
Yeah, that's all the time.
That never goes away. You just know now where to look for stuff and just think, okay, I'm all. And so what if it's not right? I will figure out to make it right.
Yes. And I think that's just like, I haven't been doing this all that long, but the level of confidence from when I first started to now, it's like, okay, to your point, nobody's died. And also we can just fix whatever. Like it's not irreversible.
Right.
So
And then being a member of the Buds and of Nancy's group, you
yeah,
can ask.
right.
I'm stumped. I can't figure it out. And somebody will chime in and help, which is
Yeah.
great. And it's fun when you figure something out and say, look, I figured this out.
I know.
You get to share with the group. It's
Yeah, I don't share it too often, but I do get like super excited and then my husband's like, God, you're such a dork. That's not something that we like need to do backflips over. And I'm like, but it really is.
I know that's what's so fun about going to the conferences because all of us are together and we geek out at all of this. Have you seen it do this? Have you tried that? I think one of the favorite classes at QuickBooks Connect is the QuickBooks tips and tricks. We
Mhm.
get to say, let me show you this trick, and it like wakes people up. I actually had the honor of teaching that 2 years in a row with Alicia.
Oh, so cool. You
And
guys go to career?
this was at QuickBooks Connect. Okay, all right. Well, I'm getting the notice that I'm getting a hot tub in today,
Oh, nice.
and the electrician is here, and he had just told me I might get a power loss. So if I just disappear now, you know why.
Well, we're almost to time anyways, so we are good. So any final words?
Any words of inspiration for other people
Yes.
out there, Jess?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, find a group that you vibe with, like Bookkeeping Buds or Ask a CPA. And don't give up because it's hard and it's lonely, but I don't know, it's also super fun if you like it. If you don't like it, then don't do it.
I don't do it if
But
you don't like it. Yeah, don't do anything if you don't like it.
exactly.
No. The only job you cannot quit is being a mom.
That's very true.
Yeah, once you're a mom, you're stuck.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lifetime.
But thank you for joining us today. You were fabulous.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. This was super fun.
And I loved seeing you in person. So now we hope to encourage you to come to a conference. Scaling New Heights is coming up in June. Check that one out. And
Yeah.
maybe if Cindy's here listening, maybe she'll do another Bookkeeping Buds conference. Maybe Cindy.
We do a conference within the conference. That's good too.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
and then
So
we
Do you
have
guys always go to QuickBooks Connect or
yes,
Intuit? Yeah.
yes.
Is
and
that
I go mainly to see my friends. I go to see my friends.
Yep.
It's like
That's
I mean, this year I went to Appy Camp. We went to Reframe. I think I'm going to Bridge the Gap. You know,
wow, so many. It's so like just like hearing them all, I'm just like overwhelmed. What's
well,
the
I
best
start
one to
with
start
one.
with?
I just go to one.
just
It's
pick one.
just pick one, and
What's
then
which
what
one would you recommend starting with?
scaling.
And that one's in
Scaling?
June in
You're really bad
Orlando.
scaling. I mean, which one do you think she should start with, Cindy?
Um,
Of course, Cindy's in Orlando. So last
Cindy's
year,
in early. Yeah, see, I always go based on time that I can go and location. So Scaling New Heights is in Orlando. You're in Charlotte. I have to fly like take two flights to get there.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so
Yeah.
I prefer the Intuit Connect because that's in Vegas.
she can drive. I got to fly 2 flights to Vegas.
It's like a 30-minute flight for me. So I like that kind of stuff, but it's about timing too for me. And it always is, that's going to be first is about the family stuff first. Because if I go somewhere and I'm not settled, it won't work for me. I'll be worried about them. So that's a lot of way I tell people think about the conferences and also to have a budget for it because it can be costly if you're going to all of these things and you're flying around. That's costly too. So make sure you're planning for that.
But just go to
Um,
one. Just pick
just
one.
go to one. That's
One.
all you
All
need
right.
is one, and then make a plan for it. Have your conference plan and have a lot of flexibility, and meet as many people as you can, and then follow up with them.
You'll meet your
And
best
then,
Sounds
friends
good.
there.
yep,
My best friends I've met at conferences, like Donna
Oh.
yep,
and Cindy.
yep.
I have no regular friends. They're all my friends.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up now. So we're so happy that you were able to join us, Jess. Anyone else out there watching that? Watching? Just came on, stepped out of our comfort zone. We want to hear from you too. So please reach out to join us. You can reach out. We'll have a link in the notes that you can reach out on, or you can direct message us if you're on Facebook, email. We've got an email, it's all there. So let us know if you want to come on too and step out of your comfort zone and tell people your story so you can inspire them too.
Right.
All right. Everyone have a
Thank you
great
guys.
day.
Thanks.
Thank
Until
you.
next time.
Bye.